Hey guys, Jen Bergman here, your running realtor, and today I'm going to talk about what you'll use in real life from the real estate exam. Now we all know it's way more fun to study something that you're actually going to apply to your job, which is a future real estate agent. So I'm going to explain the 4 things that you should really focus on, because once you pass your exam and get your license and get started in the real estate industry, these are the 4 things that you will need to know. And I personally wish I would have studied harder and practiced more when I was studying for my exam, because I would have been prepared when I was actually working as a real estate agent. So to start, I hate that I'm saying this, but you do need to know every single thing you're studying, because to be a real estate agent, you have to get your license. And to get your license, you have to pass your exam. And to take your exam, you have to take all hours of your course. In Colorado, it's 168 hours. So if you're watching this and it's less than that, lucky you. But no, every single thing you're studying, it's related to real estate somehow. Keep in mind, I've only been an agent for about 3 months now. So there's lots of stuff that I studied from the exam that I will probably use in the future. It just hasn't come up yet. So now that I got the cliche, you must study everything out of the way, let's talk about the 4 things you're really going to be using. So the first one and the most important is contracts. It's a huge section of the exam. I don't care what state you're in, you're gonna have a lot of questions on contracts, forms, and closings. What I wish I would have done when I was studying, if you've seen my other videos, I make a lot of note cards. That's a great way for me to learn. Going through multiple choice questions was a great way to learn. However, what I should have done, because it would have helped me with my studying and also helped me writing up my first offers, is print out an exclusive right to buy contract, print out an exclusive right to sell listing contract, and just read them page by page. You can just type into Google exclusive right to sell, exclusive right to buy contract, and it will come right up. If you have trouble finding it, comment below, I'll help you, or send me an email, I'll send one to you. So print these out and read it line by line, because when you are working, you are going to want to explain these contracts to your clients line by line. If they have a question, you're going to want to answer it right away. So not only will reading these contracts, understanding them, help you pass your exam with flying colors, as soon as you get started, hopefully you get a client right away, and you're going to need to know this. And if you don't know how to fill it out and write it and explain it, you'll figure it out, but you might as well do it while you're studying for your exam. The second thing that is going to be so important, and the more you study it now, the better off you're going to be when you get started, is understanding financing. You cannot buy a home without the proper financing. So the first thing I tell a prospective buyer they need to do, it's not, hey, come look at a house with me. It's I have 3 lenders that I work with, and I refer them to the 3. Figure out how much you want to put down, figure out what you can get qualified for, because we can't make an offer on a home until you have a letter of approval. So there's no point in looking at homes until you talk to a lender, and you need to be able to explain, or it's at least it gives you a leg up and it makes you look like a great agent if you can explain that whole process to a buyer. So study that for your exam, know how loans work, know the difference between a conventional loan versus an FHA loan, know VA loans, how you qualify for one, how to qualify for 0% down, what is the minimum percentage you need to put down, understand interest rates, at what percent will you have to pay private mortgage insurance. These are all questions that if you don't know right away, of course, you can get back to your buyers and answer them. But the more you know off the bat, the better you're going to be. Because what I have learned is most buyers, and I've worked with a lot of first-time home buyers so far, they don't understand how the process works at all. They don't know what they can qualify for. They don't know how much they should put down. So these are things as a real estate agent you're going to want to explain to them. Yes, you need to know how Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac works. You need to know how all of the loan works, know about the secondary market. All of this stuff is so important. It's a little bit tedious studying, and it's a lot easier to learn as you're doing it on the job. Trust me, I am learning so much every single day. I have great lenders that explain everything to me. But if you can sit down and really learn the process from you're a first-time home buyer, what do you need to do first? talk to a lender. What are the types of loans? Once you get a letter of approval, now you can submit a offer to a selling agent. And then what are the next steps as far as getting an appraisal done, to going down to the closing table? How do they wire the money? Where does that money come from when you get a loan? Where does the earnest money go? It goes in escrow. All of these things are so important to know. Learn it now. I wish I had focused on it more, because when you start working, you're gonna just kill it if you can answer all of these questions for your buyers right away, and you'll be less stressed because knowing these things gives you confidence as an agent talking to people. So know your financing. When you get to those sections, study them extra hard, and don't be afraid to reach out to people and ask questions. Especially if you already know what brokerage you're going to work with, ask them if they have a lender that you can speak to and ask questions to. The third thing that has been very useful from the exam studying that has helped set me apart from other agents is math. And I'm not going to talk a lot about math because I don't want anyone to stress out. If you're still studying, don't stress out about it. It is not a huge portion of the exam, and you can rest assured that the questions on the exam are much more complicated than any questions or any problems I've had to solve working as a real estate agent. But knowing math is very, very helpful for 4 reasons. The first reason is you can calculate the potential mortgage for your clients. This includes HOA fees, interest rate, and paying their loan, plus paying towards their principal. So if you can calculate potential mortgage, that helps them narrow down their decision if they're in between 2 houses. Also, you can give them tips like how to pay off the principal early and save years on your loan. So just knowing those things is super helpful for the mortgage purposes. Again, it's basic math. The questions on the exam will be harder. The second reason math is helpful is to make a killer CMA. So that's when you're making comparable properties for your clients. You have to be able to add and subtract and divide and multiply. That's pretty much it when comparing properties. But making a killer CMA will set you apart as an agent. The third reason is adding up closing costs. So you want to be able to be like, hey, you guys, when it comes time to closing, set aside this much money because you're going to pay this, this, and this. The debits and credits, don't stress about too much. It's good to know, but you're not going to be the closer that's actually making the debits and credit sheets. Just be able to give your clients a solid number and add up what their closing costs will be. So again, basic math. And then the fourth thing, and this is fun, calculating commission. That's easy, multiplication and decimals. You want to know your commission, it motivates you. There's lots of questions on the exam, so just know it. And the last and fourth thing that you're going to be using a lot once you have your license and you're working that's from your real estate exam studying is disclosures. So when you get to that disclosures section, read it all the way through and pay attention. It will save you a lot of legal trouble if you know what you're doing. As a buyer's agent, you want to be able to read those disclosures and be able to notice if there's any red flags. As a seller's agent, you need to know legally what you need to disclose in your listing. There is a lot of disclosures that you have to disclose to the buyers. For example, structural disclosures, appliance disclosures, water and sewage disclosures. If it was built before 1978, lead-based paint disclosures.
Electrical and telecommunication, mechanical, ventilation, air, heat, source of water and water supply, flood and drainage, access and parking, environmental issues, common interest disclosures, association disclosures, ventilation, air, heat, sprinkler system, ventilation system, the windows, landscaping, ceiling fans, garage door openers, remote control, refrigerator, microwave, oven, grills, attached, not attached, washer, dryer, all of the warranties.
So that's just to name a few. So when you guys get to your disclosure section, just know it is very important. Memorize it. You will be using it once you have your license. So those are the 4 things that I think are very, very useful to focus on when you're studying for your exam. It's always more fun to study stuff that you know you'll be applying to real life. So I hope that motivates you a little bit when you get to some of those tedious sections that you will be using this in real life, and it's a lot more fun when you're actually working. So get through the exam. You guys got this. As always, I respond to all of my messages, comments, and questions. So reach out to me anytime if you guys have questions. Good luck. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.